One of the constraints Trump faced when he arrived at the White House in January 2017 was he didn't really know much about the presidency or federal power. Through trial and error, he learned how things worked. If he wins the November election, Trump would return with more conviction about his vision for the country and more knowledge about how to execute it. The cabinet secretaries and White House aides would be replaced by loyalists, eager to push his agenda even further. And he could reap to the benefits of a Supreme Court whose conservative majority he enshrined. Trump's allies have ambition beyond enforcing loyalty to Trump, who can serve only one more term. His former chief strategist Steve Bannon called early in Trump's first term for the deconstruction of the administrative state. This may sound new and radical, but it broadly aligns with the aims of conservative policy since Roosevelt's New Deal. Their stated aim is to remove public servants likely to obstruct Trump's agenda and replace them with people committed to it. This would theoretically increase the president's power. Trump will oversee one of the most consequential overhauls of the government in modern times, a bid to root out what Trump and his allies call the deep state. They want to eliminate the independence of certain federal agencies, reduce protections for civil servants, and wrest control of some authority over spending from Congress. All proposals that Trump has endorsed. It is part of a push to shrink the size of the government, snuff out perceived opposition to the presidential agenda within the bureaucratic rounds, and shift power from the federal agencies to the White House. On immigration, his signature issue, Trump has said he would oversee the largest deportation operation in US history. He has pledged to end the constitutional right to birthright citizenship, which for more than a century has provided US citizenship to children born in the country, regardless of their parents' immigration status. In his second term, he intends to attempt a historic power grab to legally enable the deployment of US troops to carry out roles currently prohibited under federal law, including the arrest, detention, and transport of migrants at the southern border. This effort would involve hundreds of thousands of troops. Trump and his allies want to reinterpret civil rights era laws and other measures aimed at promoting racial equality to focus on combating anti-white racism rather than bias against people of color. Several groups connected to Trump have been laying the legal groundwork by filing lawsuits and complaints against government and corporate policies that they say discriminate against white people. Trump has called for lowering the corporate tax rate to 15% from 21%, a contrast with Biden, who wants to raise the corporate tax rate to 28%. He has asserted without evidence that if elected, he would end the wars in Ukraine and Gaza. Apart from the rhetoric of him being a pacifist, if we look at his actions, then his policy will be not much different than of Ms. Harris. It was Mr. Trump who in 2017 lifted the Obama administration's arms embargo on Ukraine, providing it with the Javelin missiles that helped defend Ukraine in the earliest days of Russia's invasion. Moreover, Trump gave political cover to House Speaker Mike Johnson when he maneuvered to pass additional military aid. Trump has repeatedly said if he was the president, then the war in Gaza would not have happened. During his debate with Biden, he criticized him for not supporting Israel. Trump, in his first term, casted himself as the strongest supporter of Israel, and if during his second term he continues to support Israel with unquestioned support, then the actions of Donald Trump would start World War III.